What's going on, everyone? So, D'Angelo Russell opting in is obviously the best case scenario for the Lakers. Yes, if D'Lo would have left, the Lakers would have potentially had a full mid-level exception. But it's like, who are you getting that's really going to give you the production or even a better upgrade via trade, right? Like, the free agency market is not great this year. It is very, very thin and just again, there's not a lot of options realistically at that like 13 million. Now, maybe you get lucky and, DeMar DeRozan can't find a place that's willing to pay him. So maybe he goes and says, I'll take 13 million or something. Sure, maybe something like that happens, but realistically, that's probably not happening either, right? Like more likely than not, he'll either sign a new deal with Chicago or work out some sign and trade with Chicago or something. He'll try to find a way to get more than that 13 million. But now that the Lakers know, okay, we have D'Lo, we have 18.7 million. Jackson Hayes also opted into, which is a little more surprising. I'm not like super surprised by him. I actually was saying that I thought that he would probably opt in, or it makes sense for him to opt in. But I know a lot of people thought he wouldn't. I know a lot of people thought that he would leave, kind of go somewhere for a little more money. But I don't know where that place would be. But now you basically, between those two guys, you're talking 21 million that you have to trade. And that's not counting Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, right? So now the Lakers are in a position to where they can kind of leverage guys to now go pull off some type of trade to try to upgrade the roster. And the Lakers do. The Lakers got to do something to really kind of try to turn this roster around, because the Lakers are right now seeing everybody basically upgrade and everyone making big moves. Obviously, the Boston Celtics are a great basketball team. They very well could win it again next year. You add in everything that the Knicks just did. The Denver Nuggets aren't going anywhere. Even if they lose KCP, they're not going anywhere. The Warriors are looking like they're going to end up landing Paul George. And you just had the Pelicans get DeJounte Murray. And that was the guy that is kind of frustrated, right? Because it's like, man, if D'Lo would have just have opted in like literally like 12 hours earlier, right? We may have had DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray may have been a Laker, right? But there's nothing you can do. It is what it is. Can't go back and change it. It's frustrating, right? It is. It's frustrating because it's just like DeJounte Murray would have been a great asset for the Lakers. He's on a good contract given his production, and he would have been a guy that it would have been a clear upgrade over D'Lo. I know some people think that D'Lo is better. He's not better than DeJounte Murray. He's a better shooter, right? And I'm a big defender of D'Lo. I'm a guy that all season I've stuck up for D'Lo and argued to justify D'Lo. But DeJounte Murray is better. And if you could turn D'Lo into DeJounte Murray, you do that, right? Unfortunately, that's off the table now. He's in New Orleans, which again signals another team that is upgrading. And again, we haven't even hit free agency yet. Right? We haven't even hit all these teams that are going to be working out deals and, players moving and signing new contracts. And, where's Klay Thompson going to go? Klay Thompson may end up going to Dallas. There's reports that Dallas and Klay have mutual interest, right? And they just were in the NBA Finals, right? So it's like you're seeing all these teams really do what they can to make key moves to just better the roster. And it's like, so far, the Lakers have just been here. They've just been kind of stagnant. And it's not like we were a top 3 seed in the West. Right? It's not like, oh man, like, yeah, we're fine. Like, just get like a Valanciunas and we're there. No, we're a team that was, a game or two away from missing the play-in entirely. Right? We won a good amount of games under normal circumstances. We probably would have been a top 4 or 5 seed in a normal year, but this West is different. This West is stacked. And you have teams like Memphis that's coming up, right? They're going to get Ja back. They're going to get guys back. The Pelicans, they were good even before DeJounte, and now they're back, right? And they added DeJounte, and they could trade Brandon Ingram somewhere, and one of those teams could upgrade by taking on Brandon Ingram. It's just, it's not a great spot for the Lakers to be in, right? But problem is, like, who is that piece? Who is that guy? Who is that trade that can change the landscape for the Lakers? Right? Like, it's just, like, the only guys that we are aware of right now that could have a big enough potential ceiling and impact is Trae Young or Zach LaVine. Those are the only two names that really come to mind that like could really raise the ceiling for the Lakers. Now, obviously, Donovan Mitchell, he's another guy, but we don't know what Donovan Mitchell is going to do. And based on reports, it looks like Donovan Mitchell is supposed to sign a new extension, right? I mean, he hasn't done it yet, so it's very possible he doesn't. And if that's the case, then you make a run for Donovan Mitchell because look, there have been reports for months that Donovan Mitchell wants to go to a big market and he wanted either the Knicks or the Lakers. And the Knicks just took themselves out of the equation. So if he really does, and that's really true, then it's the Lakers. But the only way that the Lakers get Donovan Mitchell is if he basically forces his way to Lakers. If he basically pulls an Anthony Davis and says, hey, other teams that you can trade for me, you can do what you want, but I'm going to Lakers. I will leave for the Lakers the following offseason, right? And I know some people look at it and go, well, the Lakers wouldn't be able to sign him, so that won't work. Of course they will, okay? There's always workarounds, right? LeBron could just sign a one-year deal. They'll lose D'Lo's money. They basically just stand pat. They probably shed a couple salaries. Right? They'd easily be able to move off of like Gabe Vincent and Rui and guys like that, especially if they're like attaching picks and stuff to that. And they know that they could get Donovan Mitchell back, right? You're probably trading your picks anyway to get him, right? So if you were guaranteed to know that Donovan Mitchell's coming, it would actually be better because you could probably keep like Austin Reeves and maybe Jared Vanderbilt because you could just unload everybody else. LeBron opts out, right? And then he could kind of fill in the gaps so you could sign Donovan Mitchell, and now you got like Donovan Mitchell, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, and now you're just trying to round out your bench at that point, right? The Lakers would be in very good shape in that regard. But again, that's probably a bit of a pipe dream. So that signals to me you're basically looking at Trae Young or Zach LaVine as like the real ceiling raisers, right? Now, obviously, I'd love a Cam Johnson. I would love a Dorian Finney-Smith. I think either of those guys could make an impact for the Lakers, but do those two guys added to the Lakers make you a top ceiling roster, right? No. Again, I think you'd have a puncher's chance. I think you'd be in a pretty good spot, right? Like I think you'd be better, and then you'd have a better head coach, so you might actually be able to make some noise, but you're not like it's not like you're looking at the Lakers going, man, that's one of the three best teams in the league, right? Like good luck beating the Lakers, right? You're like, they can compete, but they're not like this bona fide contender. They're not this far and away clearly better than everyone else contender, right? And look, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they want the Lakers to go all in, right? Like they don't want the Lakers messing around. They don't want the Lakers playing. LeBron James is only getting older, right? He only has so much time left. Anthony Davis, right? Like he's been incredibly healthy lately, which is great, but there's also the concerns of like, how much longer can you have him and LeBron basically do everything and be the workhorses for everybody? Like you got to, you have this limited window. You got to capitalize on it. You got to start making some moves to put yourself in a better position to where now you can, actually contend with the best of them. You have all these teams that are just getting better and better and better. It's like every night somebody else is getting better at this point. And yet the Lakers have it. And again, I understand it looks bleak right now, but there's a lot of time between now and October, right? Like this time next month, we could all be like, oh man, wow, the Lakers, they got, Valanciunas in free agency, signed Kevin Porter Jr. and, traded for, Trae Young and Dorian Finney-Smith. Right? And it's like, wow, Lakers really turned that around, right? And it's like, man, look at our top 8, right? Like that's always a possibility, right? But you got to start putting pen to paper here a little bit, right? You got to start, putting yourself in a position to where you can contend and compete with some of these other teams, because it's just it's tough right now. It is. It's very tough right now. It's very bleak right now. But and look, I don't want the Lakers to run it back. I mean, I think it was like Dave McMillan throughout, like, the Lakers basically just kind of waiting until the trade deadline. But we did that last time. And, yes, 2 trade deadlines ago, we were able to pull off a bunch of moves. But last trade deadline, there was nothing. And it's like, what is there going to be at the trade deadline that isn't here now? I mean, I'm sure there'll be a couple things, of course. There always is. But it's just like, what is that? And is that worth, not pursuing a Trey or a Levine or something like that? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think the Lakers, you got to make a move. You got to make a trade. You got to do something, right? Like, you got to push chips to the table. You got to go all in. Got to stop messing around. Are you happy that D'Lo opted in, and now that puts you in a position to potentially go pull off some type of trade? Do you think no? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.